Hey, Crystal Maiden here. And I believe this is the final part of the Mario World Let's Play. You know, this is a good background. Although, it is weird that there's blue hills, like blue and white hills. I guess that must be part of the Magic Koopa spell, because I don't know how grass could be green. But otherwise, yeah, it's a pretty good background. It must be an extremely cloudy day, though. It's actually very good that the special world levels have such a variety in like level atmosphere, like level theme. Like it's not literally the same thing every time. Like the Star World actually makes sense for a place like the Star World levels have night skies that are starry in the background, which actually is a lot better suited to the way the special zone map looks. By the way, very ironic that the special zone is called a zone, like Sonic. And I hate that bottom path, by the way, that's stupid. They shouldn't have designed that. That's like a trap, trial and error. But it is common sense to not take the bottom path in a platformer with bottomless pits in it. This is definitely a breather level. Especially if you have a Yoshi. To be fair though, I'm basically cheating the special zone anyways by going back to previous levels to get a cape and Yoshi. In Mario 1 and 2, you would never be able to do that. That wasn't the retro Mario game intended design. In this one, you can even travel back to other worlds, no problem. Which always made it feel so restrained to me that you need a warp whistle to travel to other worlds in Mario 3. At least in the GBA version, once you beat Mario 3, you can actually go back to any world you want because of a brand new overworld map. That lets you warp to any world that you want just by selecting worlds on the overworld map. Which is actually much better designed than Mario World's overworld map, because it's much more of a shortcut. But, like, yeah, like that section was pretty... Well, it's not tense at all if you can just float with the cape, but it is very tense to land on those little ice blocks if you don't have the cape to make things harder, because, you know, they're ice. And it's especially hard if you don't have the star, because how are you supposed to dodge all those flying fish? This is, of course, on the title screen. And it's noticeably easy until you get past the title screen part. I've always known since I was a kid, I messed around with codes, that if you make the Mario die on the title screen with codes, then you'll end up playing on the title screen. You'll even see Mario start after he dies, and then you'll be playing on the title screen. And I believe that every time you die on the title screen, I think you... No, I don't really remember how it works. It's been forever since I've been able to use codes with Mario World, because you can only use them on the Super Nintendo version. And I haven't had the action... Well, you can use it on GBA version, obviously, but I haven't had the action replay for that in years. Something that's very good design about these Pokies is that they're designed to... Their height is determined by whether you have Yoshi or not. So they're designed to make it impossible to have the game be unwinnable by them being too tall for you to jump over. They're not designed to force you to take a hit. It's very good design. I'm so used to bad design and badness from Sonic that it's such a nice surprise to see good design. Like the fact that fireballs can actually kill the charging chucks. You just need to have enough of them. Like normally fireballs turn enemies into a coin and kill them one hit. You know, I don't see the point of turning them into a coin. It sure is nice in the game to give you a 1/100th of an extra life, in addition to killing them. This level is annoying, especially because the water that's constantly rising and falling has a... Well, no, it doesn't have a current to it. Does it? I mean, if you're just standing... I saw him standing still, and he wasn't being sent to the left. I don't know, it comes off like it has a current that's sending you to the left. Because the waves are always moving to the left. Yeah, it does have a current, because why would I move left there? Like, it would have to be because I was being forced to. I do like taking advantage of the water gimmick to get the dragon coins, though. I think the reason I called them star coins was because, like, I watched videos on the new Mario games, and in the new Mario games, they're always called star coins. To the point where the Mario 3D Land game forces you to get a certain amount of star coins to beat the game, because you reach a wall at a certain point, and it pulls a Sonic Unleashed HD on you. Fortunately, though, I was able to get all the star coins in that game, eventually. And it was quite an accomplishment. I really like that. Like, I like the uniqueness of this level. That it's designed like a normal level, but it happens to have water in it. Normally, water levels in Mario suck because there's no actual platforming involved. Because you're swimming, so you're not allowed to jump like Sonic can do just fine when in the water. So, with no platforming, it's just about avoiding the enemies, which you do anyways. So really, it's just stripping the game of one of its vital components for gameplay and having fun. For nothing. There's nothing in exchange. What Sonic does is put you on a time limit until you can get more air. And that's a decent challenge. It rewards skill because you gotta find bubbles. And it doesn't remove your ability to platform because you can jump. And in fact, it makes platforming easier because you move slower, so you're better able to precisely land. I always liked the challenge of landing on those flying platforms, though. It's pretty difficult. Like, this is the only time I've managed to match all of them. It's much harder. It feels like it's twice as hard to accurately jump into those things when you're riding Yoshi. It feels like it's harder with Yoshi, and it's like, that's a glitch. It's gotta be. I keep forgetting. This is a pretty tough level. I keep forgetting to mention it, but you know those circles on the top of the Special World Overworld map? They're the Super Famicom logo. Like, for the Super Nintendo in Japan. It's pretty random. How are you supposed to know that as a kid? I just learned about it, like, this year. But yeah, this is a pretty tough level because it's so cluttered with enemies. A lot of people hate this level. I got pretty lucky in this level. It helps that it's easier with a Yoshi, because, like, you can jump ridiculously high for no reason when you dismount him, and you can eat the wigglers. And somehow, you can even eat fire when you're Yoshi. And you can spin jump off the fire just fine. Of course, you can only spin jump off the... and eat the jumping fire. You can't do anything with the tiny little fires that are left behind. That's so selective of the game. Oh, it looks so unfinished, that Hammer Bros sprite, when you kill it. Like, it's obvious that they only made a top half of him. And, like, he's, like, part of the platform, and when he dies, like, he's separated from half his body and he falls off the screen. But it is actually... I do like the effect that when the enemies die, they fall off screen, because Mario falls off screen. Unless you kill them with a spin jump or jumping on them with Yoshi, in which case they disappear into puffballs, which is more kid-friendly and lazy looking. And if they... well, not lazy looking. And you can also turn them into a coin. So it's not like they always fall off screen. They're not even keeping consistent. But yeah, it's a pretty difficult level. Like, it's very difficult to get the timing precisely right when you're landing on the bullet bills to bounce over the tall cannons. And it was pretty creative of the game's level designers to decide to name each level in the special zone after dated slang. Like, with the exception of awesome, I think only the word awesome is still used today. And whoever said way cool? I would recognize way past cool, but only from a Sonic comic. I like that they made it a creative challenge to get the Yoshi this time around. You have to hit the P switch after activating him with the thrown shell. I would never play this level anymore without doing this glitch. If you eat a green berry to increase the time, right after time has started to be so, right after time starts making the music go faster, like every single time that the music wants to go faster, it's gonna keep going faster and faster and faster. If you can actually manage to like hack in a ridiculous amount of green berries, and you just keep increasing the speed of the music, it'll actually overflow and end up drastically decreasing the speed of the music to a ridiculous degree. The 21st time that you increase the music speed, it gets really slow. Unfortunately, this glitch is fixed in the GBA version, along with the coin snake glitch, where the music keeps going. Which is a shame, because this is my favorite part of the level, like making the music ridiculously fast. Although making the music too fast does make it more stressful. This level is definitely more difficult without the cape, because then you can't one-shot the really annoying Charge and Chuck. That's a total pace breaker because he's in front of this pipe and he summons Super Koopas. Like, there's so many baseballs cluttering up the screen. What were they thinking? In Japanese, they don't have the other, so it's just you're a super player. Fortunately, they decided to correct that. It's redundant to have multiple exclamation points, though. But yeah, this is what I was talking about, like with the special zones level themes. This looks like a first level in the game, but it's not. Like, this game was very creative with its world themes. There's no desert world at all. There's no ice world at all. I don't... Like, I think the chocolate secret world is basically just a mountainous world. I never liked that they changed the look of the enemies when you beat Funky. Like, you don't even have the option to not have that happen. Once you beat Funky, regardless of whether you go into that star that you just unlocked, it changes the way that the overworld map looks and the way that the enemies look, to make the Koopas look bad. And what I showed off with the berry there is that if you stick out Yoshi's tongue, like what I showed off was that if you collect a power-up at the same time as you eat a berry, then it can become immobile. I just barely avoided getting killed by those fireballs. Having all these different branching pathways for Bowser's Castle makes it a pain in the ass when doing a Let's Play, because you have to do editing to show off every single level. I finally showed off that you can go into the background there. It's only used, really, in the GBA version, where you can collect dragon coins only by going into the background. You know, I could have sworn that in this part of the level, you can collect a mushroom by going to that curtain below me. But for some reason, I can't get any mushrooms other than the 1-up mushroom in this area, which is a shame because it really is drastically in need of of mushrooms because they're so cheap. Like the Mecha Koopas go behind the curtains, so you can't tell when they're about to wake up when they're in your arms and kill you. Like, they're so annoying, they're everywhere. I intentionally went into this level without getting power up ahead of time because I wanted to make it. I didn't not notice that game. I noticed that Mario clipped through that block above me. And I like that. That was generous of the game because, like, it would have inconvenienced me if I hadn't clipped through it. But yeah, the fourth one is always the easiest one. I don't know how we're supposed to beat this, by the way. It's literally nothing but that. I'm pretty sure it forces you to get yourself hurt to progress, which is terrible game design. Like, it seems like there's no way to not get hurt there. But yeah, see, there's literally no way to attack those bony fish without a star. You know, it really sucks that there's no hammer suit in this game. Because the hammer suit gives you the ability to attack enemies that you normally couldn't, like the bony enemies and the thwomps and thwimps. There's way too many spinning spike balls here. And why the hell can you be killed by the bottoms of the spikes? I didn't even touch the spike part. That felt cheap. Like, it's literally nothing but avoiding the obstacles. Which is the best designed when you're small Mario, but not really because you die in one hit. I do like that they introduce a gold version of these things that jump, but they look so intimidating, and well, it's a really good thing that you can harmlessly spin jump off them. You know, I'm showing off right here what's so annoying about the cape. But yeah, the 4th and 8th levels are the easiest ones. But again, you're only gonna know which ones are the easiest through trial and error. Like, the first section has an auto-scrolling section where you're avoiding getting crushed and falling to your death. I don't know, it's hard to list them all off because there's so many different ones. I know that you can glitch die to these things when they're jumping up at you. I know that much, and like, I know that there's bigger versions of these that are introduced in Yoshi's Island, and the bigger ones, well, I know that they're in Super Mario World 2, Super Mario Bros. 2, and you can pick them up and throw them, and they can give you hearts if they're the big ones. This gives off an intimidating atmosphere really well, but it's also a really boring fight. Because most of the time, you're just standing there and waiting for him to give you an opportunity to attack. It's so dreadfully boring. And I don't know why they made his claws and his arms green instead of orange. What were they thinking? But, like, at least he doesn't look completely terrible like in Mario 1. The clown car is pretty emblematic of Bowser. These fires are surprisingly easy to get hit by because their hitboxes are obnoxiously big. It's so hard to squeeze between them. It sure is convenient that Peach happened to have a mushroom with her for no reason at all. I guess she anticipated herself getting kidnapped again and kept a mushroom with her for that exact situation. She kept 2, in fact. See, this is just padding. Especially since you can spin jump on these things. Which is not... It would be cheap if you couldn't spin jump on these things, because then you would have no way of avoiding getting hit by them if the clown car was on the center up of the screen. Because then you wouldn't be able to avoid getting hit by them at all. Because you jump and then you jump into the clown car. But I do like the creative challenge that you throw upwards to these things to attack the boss. In the first castle, if you spin jump at the right time, you'll go inside the crusher thing. Go to Donut Secret 1 secret area, get the P balloon, and if you can hold both left and right on the D-pad, Mario will travel very swiftly. You can crush yourself between 2 identical items, like keys. In Yoshi's Island 2, if you jump and hit the Yoshi block the same time you hit the block with a shell, an invisible Yoshi will be spawned, as well as a normal one. Yoshi hatches twice as fast when the glitch is done right. Riding Yoshi while it's invisible makes you invincible, but it can't stick out its tongue or eat anything. Entering a pipe, completing the level, or getting off it makes it vanish. Really, how does he not break the propeller when he lands on the ground stomping on it? Like, at least he got smart by the third phase and realized, okay, but if he really was smart, then he would stop throwing the Mecha Koopas. How did he think that was a good idea in the first place? I mean, like, you have an advantage over Mario by flying at him. You're gonna throw him stuff that lets him attack you, and you're not gonna blast him with lasers from above. You're making Eggman look smart. He ripped off Eggman by having that clown car. Well, actually, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this game was conceived before Sonic was a thing. So it's more like Sonic ripped off Mario by having Eggman with the Eggmobile. Only the Eggmobile doesn't look like a clown car. In Vanilla Dome 2, activate a P-switch. When you see a rectangle-shaped structure of coins sitting on the ground, duck while running when not Small Mario, and wait for the switch block to become inactive, and stop ducking. You'll be in the floor, and Yoshi and grabbable items will slide and not react to gravity. So the glitch is called Anti-Gravity Room. I love this music. Why are all of the Yoshi eggs the same color? You would think that it would be common sense to make them all have their own color, and didn't they all have their own color? I remember saying that this game had like 16 people working on it. But I wouldn't be surprised if, considering how long the credits are, it wouldn't reflect that, but maybe it did. Since most of the credits is actually not the credits, but actually pointlessly telling you what the names of all the enemies are, as if you're going to remember that. But yeah, am I really expected to believe that this is how Peach got home from her vacation in Dinosaur Land? These characters are all moving so slowly. Yoshi is not even trying to run while she's riding him. It would be really charming if we saw her riding Yoshi through the levels that we went through, backwards. And, like, that would be how they would backtrack through the game that Mario went to get to her. I mean, at least she showed her appreciation to Mario for rescuing her by giving him a kiss. But, yeah. This was a fantastic game. The main thing that makes it fantastic, other than the fact that there's platforming, of course, is the controls. The controls are so perfect that the game is so well designed that I feel like it's my fault every time I screw up. As long as I don't glitch die. Like, and that makes it frustrating in its own right, because it's always embarrassing to me when I screw up. Because this is Mario World. How do I manage to get hit or die in Mario World? The previous Mario games are much more frustrating to me because of how they control. Like, I don't know, it feels like you lose way too much of your momentum when you jump into a wall in Mario 1. And it makes a certain part of the first castle in the game ridiculously dickish. I've never gotten past that point because it's just such a frustrating game for me to play. And Mario 3 is too frustrating as well. I've never beaten the NES version. I never got past the Cloud World. But this game is easy enough, even if it doesn't have nearly enough power-ups compared to the previous game. That's the only way I can imagine understanding why some people think that Mario 3 is better, because it has more power-ups than this game. And this game just, well, it's not even that, it's mostly feeling easy to me because it throws so many lives at you. A lot of lives doesn't make a game easy. The level design and the enemies themselves and how much of the enemies there are in one place, that's what makes the platformer difficult. And until the Butter Bridge world, it didn't really feel difficult. I hate the Butter Bridge world. That's the one part of the game I really hate. For the most part, though, the game is fun. I even like the special zone. Like, especially love the variety in the level themes. A pretty fun game. It is brutally overpowered how the spin jump lets you bounce off so many different enemies harmlessly, completely unintuitively. Like, that is one thing that makes the game easier than it has to be. Like, but again, that's trial and error thing, but if you're a kid, then you're going to experiment with the spin jump, so you're going to find out what it can let you harmlessly bounce off of, and you get an instinct for it. So it's not too difficult to figure out. If you take a grab block through a pipe, it'll never disappear. Like those blue ones that flash. See, Iggy right there, that's how I always picture Iggy to look. Yeah, my TV went dark because I was inactive with it for too long. I love how they look in that ending screen.